Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where we proudly provide world-class education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. Our show today is Coexistence and Sustainability with pet psychic Aminah. Let's bring her out.
Yay! I have my own clapping machine. So there she is. So I got all my little clapping machine out.
Oh, good. Perfect. Well, welcome, Aminah. Our topic today is how to protect your pet during weather-related events.
Well, you should be the expert there. I'd be only the small expert. And what we're talking about is the weather in so many parts of the country. And the ocean, the beach, the desert, wherever you're from, at some point, you and your pet are going to run into weather. Where I live in parts of California, it is called Tule fog for some people, for the fogs, but I'm talking about the stickers, the weeds are, and they are tumbleweeds because they tumble and they keep their round shape, but they eventually also get out with your cars and trains and planes, and people are driving over them. So therefore, your cats are going to run into them. If your cats are indoor, outdoor, or outdoor completely, this could really get to a place of a health issue. And why do I say that? Because their little paws, just think of your hands. Now, I garden all the time. I have a lot of great calluses on my hands. Hopefully they're pretty soft anyway. And soil and picking up after all our other animals and responsibilities. And pets are the same way. Your cats are the same way. They're going to have paws where they build up some type of of the way the pad is. It gets stronger, but it's not foolproof. If your cats are indoor, outdoor, even if your dogs, you're taking them for a walk, always check their paws. Always check the paws. And what I'm talking about is splay them out so you can really get a look. Because if you have foxgloves, which I know plenty of people who do, like Dr. Jacalyn, they are meant to look like, for me, they're kind of like a fisherman's hook. And they're meant to burrow in, and I'm not sure what they're supposed to do after that. But they are deadly. They will go straight to the heart, especially on a small animal, and it gets under their fur. You don't see it. Because what I'm recommending is make sure that you brush your pets down with a really good comb or brush, whatever you're using, because the coat on that animal is going to be very specific. So you might need a different comb for this, and one for wet hair, one for dry, but make sure it's a great bonding moment also, but make sure you are brushing them really well. Get the knots out, get the stickers out. You have to find the right brush for that. I can't tell you what that is. I'm not in the pet store with you, but it's about what is the consistency of the hair on the dog, cat, ferret, whoever you're taking out. They really need that. And I would tell you, if you're worried about their paws, get booties. We have one of my family members has a Bichon Frise. If you don't know, a little fluffy poodly like dog. And he always, because there's so much fur on his paw, not on the pad, just around the toes. So we're constantly having to go through his toes to make sure there's no stickers or something that has stayed in his fur. And we are going to know if we miss anything, because I can hear everybody thinking, well, how do I get it all out? How do I do? Patience. And if you do miss something and it starts to bother your pet, guess what you're going to know? You're going to know, because they're going to chew on their paws. They're going to chew on their side. They're going to try to whip around and get that little bitty tail if that's what they have. Watch your pets, get to know them really well and what their behavior would be. Are they hot, too warm, too cold, hungry, water? Any walk you take your pets on, regardless of the pet, regardless of the pet's breed, time, space, whatever. If you were walking around with alligators, okay, that's okay. But you want to be carrying water for them, not just a water bottle, because I don't advocate that you share a water bottle. You don't know where their animal's mouth has been, and they clean their body in parts we can't even reach in our own body. So I don't recommend you share the water, but I do recommend that they have a water bottle and you have a water bottle. And you have a size that you can carry throughout the whole hike, the whole walk, wherever you're going, because that water can really keep from hyperventilating, from getting too dry, from their skin, and all kinds of problems. So remember, bring water for both of you. Make sure your pet is on a leash. Now, there's a lot of parks that you can take your animal to run around. But what happens when you don't have any protection for your pet? Do you still do it? Well, you can, of course. You're the one who's going to know how tough their paws are, what kind of life did they have before they came to you, or these babies we're dealing with. It's all different thing. So just know we only have this many parts of skin for these parts of our body. So if you've ever gotten a blister, I did with a sports thing, got it right between my thumb and my fingers, and it took forever to heal. And it was really painful, and it bled like crazy. So remember, your pets are going to go through something similar. And also feel free. bridgingworlds.us is my website. And if you have questions either during the show, and we sometimes have the messages up, that's okay. Today we don't. So I'm telling you, if you have any questions, I'd be glad to, for free, answer at least one question by anything you're asking. This is my banner. This is actually my neighbor's bush I took a picture of 4 years ago. And if you're really, really good, you'll be able to see an orange tabby within all of those little stickies. So hopefully that's a good jump off, Dr. Jacalyn. And we can talk about all the different ways you got to be careful out there.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Pet Psychic Amina, we have a question from somebody in the audience. They said their dog suffers from panic attacks. Any feedback you have on that? Panic attacks for a dog?
Absolutely. First and foremost, you've got to find what calms them down. Is it chewing on their favorite toy? And you're going to see a pattern here. It's doing something. You and I both know people, I'm going to assume for you, that we know people who chew gum like they're dying and they're never going to make it if they don't chew the gum. And because it becomes a social thing with their mind. And what we're talking about is when you get nervous, when you get upset, when you get overworked. Some people go for a jog. Some people go for swimming. Some people go and read a good book. Whatever that is. But guess what? Your pet needs the same thing. Your pet needs the same thing. I really want to impress that. So for most dogs, because they're a pack animal, they want to be with you and they want you go walking with you. So please think 6 times before you go get a dog if you're not an outdoors person. A small dog is easy. And I'm talking about something, that fits under your shirt or under your underarm, something small. And if you're a housebound for whatever reason, you like being there, you have a handicap, you live alone, it doesn't matter. Your pet will accommodate and switch their life. But remember, they need chance to go to the bathroom. And I don't know a lot of people that you can do this. Teach them to go to the bathroom in your toilet. And they make seats for that. And you have a little ladder that, basically it steps up to there. So you can check with your local pet shop. You can go and Google it, the famous Google. You can Google anything. So try to find out these things. But now I want us to make sure you're not going out, buy the dog, get all this equipment, and then go, oh, he pooped all over my clothes. He pooped all over this. When our pets urinate or whatever, do sad things to our clothing, it's not revenge. That's not a thing. Dogs and cats don't really know revenge. They know comfort. They know this is a good place that mom and dad smell really good, so I might take your shirt forever. But it also might be the only toilet paper, leaves, whatever. Dogs usually cover their feces at least a little bit. You'll see them dig up the grass. Why golf people don't launch you to come and walk your dog across the grass, because they spend hundreds and thousands of dollars to have people just groom the Feywear or whatever golf term I'm forgetting. Remember, you want to know who you have. And it's not just their personality. That's going to come. And you need to have grace with you and your pet to get to know each other, especially if it's a new adoption. It doesn't matter how you adopt it from your next door neighbor, your friend, your mother, your daughter, whatever, but it's now in your care. You're a different person. You're your own special person. So give yourself time to say, oh, I really hate picking up poop. Great. Then go do the research about the scoops that keep you standing 6 feet away from with a handle. Everybody's got to eat. Everybody's got to go to the bathroom. Everybody needs to take a bath, shower, cleanliness, something. And everybody needs to go to the doctor. It doesn't matter if it's a plant, little less doctoring in there, but there are plant doctors in the nurseries and all of those wonderful degrees they get. And you will need to care for these lives that you've taken. Yes, I'm saying including the plant. I have lots of them in my life. I don't have a yard anymore. I'm in a condo. So I am used to having a lot of greenery around me. And I love going to the stores that, any of the hardware stores especially, they don't seem to like to pay their staff very much to water all the time. So a lot of times they'll have tons of clearance. And all they need, some water and maybe new soil. But if you don't take the chance and it costs you $3 whole, that's up to you. I'm just encouraging you. There's just so much fun out there. Let me show you that I put my actions in, my words into action. I hadn't taken this thing out in a very long time. And we're going to see if the camera can pick it up. And I'm sucking at it. Okay, everybody say, oh, I saw it. So what I'm showing you, and you can't see, is the German Shepherd I rescued. They had dumped him literally in their yard and moved away. And 15-foot septic tank hole in the yard. So he had no people. I think somebody was throwing food over the fence, but I think it was a neighbor. So we adopted him, and next to him in the dog carrier is our orange tabby. And they were the best buds. And so, no, I wasn't carrying them around. It was just hilarious that they both got in. So I closed the door and took a picture of it and made a border around it. So I used to go to schools and parent classes and training classes and give not only talks, but tips and things that I do here on Dr. Jacalyn's show. And my show would want people to learn. So if you saw in the picture, I don't know if you did, and I don't know if I'm going to get any better here at this, but it's going to be the funny part of all my fingers. Nope, can't see it. So Thomas and Jake is the dog, Thomas was the kitty, and they're both sitting there in the carrier. Now, I didn't drive away and go anywhere. One jumped in and the other followed. And I was like, oh, okay, the cat and the dog want to go together, but I wasn't going someplace appropriate for the cat. It was going to be a lot of dogs, and I didn't think he would appreciate that. But he absolutely loved each other. They spent a lot of time together, and it was really great after him being dumped in a yard. So what I'm saying is, again, find out what your pet is and who and what they want and what they like to do. If your cats are like mine, you'll see all I have is a little aspirin in a little cheap little, I think it's for paint, but in a craft store. But I filled it up with these little pills and stuff like that and carry with me in case I need to have a headache or something. And I have some of them that are cracked now because I've kind of abused them. So you didn't see it, but the top one is cracked and it has tape all over it. But I roll them across the tile floor. And what do you think my cats think? They think it's playtime number one. So remember, there are so many ways that you can take care of your pets mentally, physically, and we're talking about to protect your pet during the weather times. This is the buildup I'm giving you. Believe it or not, I'm going to stay on topic. And that is when there's a crisis, when there's a car accident, a bridge falls down and you are close to it, or God forbid, your pet's leash breaks in your hand. Been there, done that. Not just that they're pulling so much, but I didn't see that there was a small tear in the leash, and off the dog goes. So you have to have a call sign. I would put my fingers in my mouth and whistle away. He thought that was cool. You can get a actual whistle. Dollar stores, my biggest fan. I'm the biggest fan of the dollar store. Get something that catches their attention, especially if they're going towards stray dogs that you don't know. They could be with their owners, but to you, you don't know who's going to love who. So don't ever let your dog off leash without permission from the other dogs in the park. It's the courtesy everybody should have. But you have that whistle and they know to come. For me, I really, tuned? I'm like a car. I put my fingers in my mouth and I could whistle really loud. And I got really good at it because I'd learned that in high school. But these are simple things. You can buy it now, whistle anywhere, dollar store or anywhere, carry it around your waist, carry it around your neck, whatever works. Have your dog come as a recall. It'll save a life. If you can get your cats to do it, send me the video because that's really rare. The cats are very independent. And what we want is to show that love, show that commitment, show that going maybe a little extra mile and finding their favorite food. You're going to get a little kitty that loves to curl up with you at night because you've had such a magical day. And your dogs are going to want to protect you from everybody if you are shy or you're very nervous or any kind of medical condition. They're going to know. I know women, this happened a long time ago, but I know women that didn't know they had breast cancer. And if you've ever heard more about it, a lot of people die from that. And medicine's getting better and better all the time. And how she was able to get a mastectomy on just one side, and that's the removal of the tumor, was because her dog would not leave her alone. He kept pawing at her chest. He kept pushing her from the back. He kept licking her on the face in more of a gentle, hey mom, this is about. And when she came to get my advice to see if we needed to go back to some kind of basic training, because I had trained him when he was young, I said, no, you need to go to the doctor. And she's like, why? I said, because your dog's trying to tell you he can smell something on you. And I didn't want to scare her. So I said, so I'm not the doctor. I'm just going to tell you what he is smelling is bad. It has a very, very bad smell. So they know, your animals know things way before you do, way before the doctors do. Because I don't know about you, I don't pre-test myself for many conditions. So really think about that. It's really important. So this is a picture of one of my Facebook pages. And that little bitty puppy with the tennis ball in his mouth, what a magic. Only purebred that my daughter adopted him, but she is a therapist. She needed him to be all that fancy papers because a lot of places don't, and people don't like dogs, don't want to be around them and or think they're all going to jump on them and get them all dirty. Whatever it is, it's okay. So Sebastian has been with her since he was this little bitty puppy, and he's no bigger than this picture today. And he is a full-time working pet and helping people that she works with their whatever's going on in their life, the divorce or loss of a job, or death in the family, whatever that is. A Bichon Frise, the reason why she chose that, and this is really relevant to when you choose an animal, you need to look at all of it. How often do they need their nails clipped? How long is their hair going to get? How much hair is going to be on your couch? How much food and what kind of food? With this dog specifically, his breed, they don't shed. She has to brush him out all the time. He's all curly, like a poodle, but they're poodle adjacent. There's what I can call it. But he's small. He doesn't hurt anybody when he sits on him because he's light, and yet he feels soothing. If you've ever pet your cat or you pet your dog, hug your family member. And I know when my girls were young, they had really long hair. I would get my hands in their hair while I'm hugging them and just say, hey, I love you. I miss you. The dogs and cats can do the same. And there's plenty other animals. I know people who absolutely adore rats. I happen to be one of them. Have never owned any, but I've worked with them. There's a million kind of animals out there you can be around, and it will work. So you want to protect your pets from the things that don't. And how do you know? You watch them. If you want to know what your pets need, let's say we're back to the weather and it's a terrible rainstorm. Hopefully everybody's inside already. And then you've got thunder and lightning. I can't tell you how many kids growing up in our big neighborhood of children, oh my gosh, it was heartbreaking to see that they were going to really, really be stressed with all of the lightning and thunder and all of that type of stuff. Be aware your pets can go through the same. They really, really can. Thank you, Dr. Jacalyn, for putting up my another one on the page and with Sebastian in my hands. You can see his little face is a little narrower. And yep, those are my sunflowers. I miss them. I should put some sunflowers out again. But you have to know what is safe. Remember, this is really a big deal. Weather can be scary for your pets, as far as the lightning and the thunder and all of that. It's the same thing if a car came by and it just drove by and it's no big deal, but then somebody hit the horn. Oh my gosh. I can't tell you how many. I used to have a horse, and so I was doing a great deal of riding. It was a very rural area where I had him housed, and it was called boarded. And what I had to worry about were the cars driving by so fast and or too close. because I only had so far to go because it's a very rural area, but there were tons of fences where people had their own horses or their own property with whatever is on it. So there were certain places that I couldn't get very far off the road because there was no place to go. And so many people in this area, barbed wire. If you've never seen it, never touched it, or you have, it's the one that, of course, it's wire, metal, and then it has the spikes. And that's meant to keep not only animals, but people from jumping over their fence, harassing their cattle, whatever, stealing something. People jump over people's fences for hundreds of reasons. And one can be, it's a shortcut from here to there. Just remember, they hurt. I promise. I've only gotten one a little bit in my hand because I didn't get it quite in the middle. So remember, when you want to protect your pets from weather, now you need to talk about, are you going to invest in a raincoat? That might sound ridiculous, but it depends on the size of your pet. If you have a giant, I don't know, bull mastiff, or you have a German shepherd and they shouldn't be too giant, that's up to you and your pet. I have seen the cutest ones that got a little visor and it keeps the water out of their face, and they can be trained to it. They can get used to, what does it feel like with the straps underneath, and you put it on, you take it off. You put it on, you give it a little treat. Well, put it on, take it off. And let me reiterate, a treat is not bigger than your finger, much less bigger than your thumb. It's to get them to focus to you and make it positive. It is not food. So if you do treats, make sure you do them as healthy as possible, because it's just like giving your kids candy only all the time. And then you got to have $1 million dental visit. And nobody wants that. And dogs get it too. Cats get it too. Donkeys get it too. Horses get it. Yeah, there's no end. Everybody can get cavities. Everybody, animals, nature, whatever, can be afraid. And there's nothing wrong with that. The good part is maybe it's something great that you can work with your pet. Help them get over theirs, and it helps you get over maybe something that you're afraid of. And it gives you the strength to muster through, and you go to the library and you get to read all the books, and you don't have to own them. That's the joy of the library. And if it's a service animal and they have a jacket and a certification, and I know when my shepherd was certified, I kept my card, which had our names on them, in my purse so that I had enough proof, I guess is the right word. So many people don't want the pets there. They're going to poop on the floor. They're going to do this. No. And they shouldn't. If you've watered them and let them go to the bathroom before they go into a public place, and they're trained to know, no, we don't do this here, but they'll let you know. That's a language you need to learn. That's a language you really, really need to learn. So these are some really, I hope, take home easy. I try to make my tips something that everybody can do, because you're not going to do it if it's really complicated. And if you love complicated, great, knock yourself out. They make all kinds of things besides when a dog or cat gets stitches. They have that big crown of, what do they call it? The bell of shame or something. And that just gets them to not lick any of the stitches or that type of stuff. When you're outside with your pet, do not take them out in the rain. If there's any fire, electricity, smoke coming, any thunder or lightning, until you've gotten them good in the house. That's the first step I would recommend. And your animal is going to be different than my experience or the training I've done. So remember, I'm giving you broad suggestions so that you can tailor it for your pet and where they are at. If your pet is a Pekingese, teeny tiny little animal, it's a little hard to defend themselves. German Shepherd, you think, or any of the bigger dogs, a St. Bernard, for goodness sakes, oh, they should be fine. Not necessarily. It would be the same thing as saying, I'm 6'10". I'm not, by the way. And I should be brave and strong everywhere I go. Well, that's not a thing. At least not for me. Your animals need the same grace. Give them time. Some take to the training really fast. And you know why? Because they love the time with you. You're just focused with them. And if it's little teeny cheese cubes, which you're going to ask your vet if that's okay, or it's liver, dried liver, or whatever, to get them to understand the concept of what you're doing, then all the food goes away. And then what's left? You and your love and your patience and your time with your pet. Everybody becomes better. Wives, husbands, cousins, brothers, sisters, when somebody's kind, when somebody's thoughtful enough and say, hey, you look like you could use a hug. Sometimes that's all anybody needs. Your pets are no different. They might want to have a good old hug, but your first job is the same as I know I looked at when I had children. I'm the one who's supposed to protect them. And we do the best we can. And first and foremost, you do this. You learn from somebody who's doing it, who's tried out a lot of stuff. Yeah, I've tried almond buttered. I had one dog didn't like butter, peanut butter or anything. I had one dog loved the silly stuff. I could not leave the jar anywhere and have the lid loose. Know your pets. Make sure when you're testing, I don't know, Cheese Whiz, is that still around? There's no cheese. I don't even think there's much milk in it, but it's supposed to be very yummy. Would you want to give that to your pets, much less your family, like every day? No. Little bit on the tip of your finger, a little bit on, on a cracker or whatever your little something is that's edible. So not paper, not a jar, not any of that kind of stuff. You could use a cup if you're giving them something that's in a cup and they can fit, their face. But remember, you need to be there and only to be little enough. If you're teaching a concept and this is your bait to get them to watch you or do what you ask, it's got to be fun. It's always got to be clear instructions and fun to do together. And the cheese just gets them to look at you and go, oh, I love that stuff. Maybe yours doesn't love that stuff. There's a lot of wonderful books out. I am not the only one who's out trying to get the message out for free to any of the pet owners. I'm very, very fortunate to have had many, many types of pets. And I also worked in a wildlife sanctuary. So I have a great deal of blessings in education. And I want to share that with you. If I have helped, I would love to hear from any of you anytime. And I love getting pictures. I don't usually share them because that was something I would, of course, walk by you guys. But somebody asked me when I pulled this old frame out as I was trying to, let's see if you can see Jake. There's Jake. Again, rescued him off the bat, and there's little kitty next to Thomas. And when I brought that out of the closet, because we were emptying this, it's like an attic, but not. So do that, love them, have it around. I know that I've learned so much from my own pets. Right now, we currently have a few cats, and one of them is as shy as you could possibly make. And I love shy people. To me, they're little presents. They're waiting to be opened, and I want to hear what they think and what they say, and I'm willing to wait. As you can see, I'm not shy. I've been working in the public, and I'm a fifth child of that public mother and father also. So live true to yourself, grow where you want, and let your pets do the same. But it's fabulous when I hope you feel this way. when you run into an animal, especially if you're, please, going to the shelter and really adopting those, please. They have a timestamp. They can't keep every animal. It's just not possible. It's not feasible. It's not possible. Adopt.
Hi, Amina.
Hi, you look fabulous.
Thank you. It's so
He's
good.
Multitasking. If no one figured this out.
You're doing a great job. Thank you so much. We're actually close to the end of the show. And I was wondering, with the hurricanes that have been in Florida, there are people who have lost pets, people who are looking for their pets. And I know that you can be of great assistance in helping people communicate with their pets. Can you talk a little bit about that, please?
Absolutely, which is really funny because I live with one of my daughters, and she doesn't. Nobody has the gift that I do, and so she constantly, what did he just say? What did he just say? And I was like, he's not talking to me. Why would I be listening? So listening, and watching. All, as I've said already millions of times, and now today a couple, another 20. Watch body language. You will be so grateful that you have learned to figure out what the straight tail is, what the floppy tail is, what the fur is out here. Dr. Jacalyn, what happens when your dog goes, even your little ones? What did that mean?
It means they're upset about something.
Oh, yeah. And they're trying to be big. So they're like, oh, you want to fight? You want to fight? I'm ready to do this. We're like, your legs are this big. Are you kidding? So don't get too caught up in their bad day or their angry day. Animals need balance and happiness just the same as us, and they will be more than willing to give it to you. But you have to get them vaccinated because we live in a world where there's so many diseases, and I can't tell you how horrible it is, having worked in a vet clinic, watching these animals die slowly. And that's where euthanasia came in. Because all the animal doctors like, I'm charging somebody to sit here and watch their animals suffer and die. So there's a reason for many things. Your pets are the same. Why aren't they covering their potty? Maybe you're feeding them something that makes them, absolutely saying, oh, I don't know whose potty that was, even though I just went, I'm not taking care of that. So there is a reason. Animals don't do something just because. They're not people. Please don't mix them up with us, because people, we do weird things, and we just are weird, and it happens. So bridgingworlds.us. The reason I'm under that banner is because I came up with it, but it's because I want to be your bridge. I want to give you a chance. Why I do this show for free is so that I can share with you guys and get you to a good place. Yes, Dr. Jacalyn and I have a great channel, and I love paying for it, but I don't ever charge you, any of my clients, to enjoy all this. This is perfect platform for you to get the free advice and start there. But I'm just a phone call away. bridgingworlds.us. Basically my resume and contacts. And of course I am on Facebook mostly, LinkedIn a little. And so I always put fun articles, hopefully, that make you laugh, make you smile, and hope you hug a pet every day.
Thank you so much, Pet Psychic Amina. Another fabulous episode, and you shared so many fabulous tips for people, and they can reach you at bridgingworlds.us, also on your Facebook and your LinkedIn page, which we shared today. So we're going to say that's a wrap for today, and everyone, please take good care of yourselves and of your pets, because they're part of your family and they need you. So sending you lots of love. We'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.